Ooh, that's pretty good Ian impression.
I can't do it.
It was a little gruffer than you usually do.
Yeah,
it's a little hello.
Yeah.
Oh, you do it like Bane. Hello and welcome to the GameBrew podcast.
Hello and welcome to the GameBrew podcast.
Oh, it's Batman.
Yes.
Hey, it's nice to see you.
I don't wear hockey masks.
No, pants. I think it's pants that they're wearing. Also,
All right.
I was born in the darkness. You are really something better than I said.
Okay. All right. Hello and welcome to the GameBrew Podcast, episode 47. I am your host, Ian Rufus Richard, and I'm here with Chris Wade Wrights.
I don't even know this show.
Dan Ron Stoppable Rots.
Oh, it's from the show Kim Possible.
And Allison Kim Possible Van Vender.
Can I do the boop, 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 boop?
Wait,
No, that's
that was the Power
first
Rangers.
off.
Power Rangers. No, it's close. Does anyone know it?
It's
no.
bum bum ba-dum. That's what it is.
Oh.
So it just makes you
I
want to
suppose.
think about the Power Rangers,
Right.
but not actually be the Power
then
Rangers.
I edit to what's the sitch?
What's the sitch? What does Ron say? He's I don't know. He just runs around being a doofus.
Yeah, he just kind of screws everything up. That's Ron's job.
And he's got a naked mole rat, and that's what Chris is.
No, that's what I am.
Oh, it's you are. You're a naked
No, Wade
mole
is the hacker man.
He's
Yeah.
the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Clicky, clicky.
Today, on the first half of the show, we'll dish on our favorite mobile games of 2018, and in the second half, we'll reflect on our experiences at MAGfest. But first, it's time for a beer. Oh, I slipped. Chris, what are you drinking this week?
We're drinking a smorgasbord of New England IPAs. NEPAs, if you will.
Neebas.
NEPA!
Yeah, because it's a new year, so New England.
New England.
Yeah, so we can park the car in the car park.
And have it, bump
have
it,
it,
bump
yeah,
and
yeah.
get your chowder.
Go Pats, go Sox.
Oh my God, you guys are the fucking worst.
No, you're the
Now that
fucking
we got
worst.
that out of the way. So this is kind of like a newer thing. It's kind of distinguished by its they're aggressively hopped, but not like bitter hops. They're
Hazy.
like juicy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
very hazy because they're unfiltered.
Yeah.
So they're they have a very distinct look and taste.
Yeah. So mine is not a New England IPA. Mine is a guava IPA, but they're very similar in their characteristics. It's also an unfiltered IPA, and it also is pretty aggressively hopped, but it's got like a little bit more tropical feel to it. Hence the
It looks pretty.
guava. It looks like a glass of orange juice right now. That's how opaque it is.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it makes it like seem that way. Also, that is the most California of beers to drink
Yes.
if you can't drink a New England IPA.
Yeah, bro.
I want a beer with some guava in it, and then I'm
You
gonna
got some
take
guava?
the 407
I'm gonna
down
go
to the
shred the
292.
gnar.
Yeah. And then we
get
can all
pitted.
go.
So pitted.
It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna shred the radical. Sorry, not crazy. Crazy, so like from the 90s.
No, it would be bitching if it was from the 90s.
Oh, bitchin'.
This tastes like straight up grapefruit juice, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
It's nice. Like I'm drinking Two Roads, Two Juicy, like TWO Juicy, New England IPA, and it tastes like orange juice. I've got a bubble in my throat.
Oh my God. Have you guys ever had a salty dog before?
I don't want to say yes to
That
that
sounds
because
This is. It's not like the Devil's Triangle or what was the other thing?
Is this something you find on
this is like a subreddit I shouldn't go to.
Urban Dictionary?
A salty dog is just when you do. It's grapefruit juice and I think it's either gin or vodka together, and then you salt the rim, so it's like sort of a tropical kind of summer drink. But
never
this
done
tastes a lot
in my
like
life.
that.
Okay.
I'm quite enjoying it. Specifically, it's the Hapa's Brewing Company War and Peace Guava IPA. Really nice.
Mine is called Go Out in a Haze of Glory. It's the Duclaw version of the New England style IPA, which is interesting because Duclaw is definitely a Maryland brewery.
Duclaw opposed to the Claw.
Yes, this is the maker of Sweet Baby Jesus.
Or if you are a big fan of Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw.
Dr. Claw is my dad.
I will get you, Inspector Gadget, if it's the last thing I do.
That was a really good impression, actually.
That is a good.
It hurts to do that one.
That's going to be
sounds
your cosplay for MAGfest next year.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I'll just get in a rolly chair and wear a glove and just go backwards so no one can see what I look like.
I'll do
Don't you need a
Penny.
cat too?
Yeah, I need a white cat to pet.
Ian can be the cat.
Yes, Ian, I'm going to pet you voraciously for
I don't know.
3 days.
At MAGfest, I think maybe being a cat sends the wrong message to people.
It's totally normal, actually.
I would just be a cat, and they
Yeah.
may be expecting more. Is all I'm saying.
Oh boy.
Chris, you've been
There-
voted
there were
Inspector
some of
Gadget.
those.
There we go. We've got a group cosplay. Done.
Okay, now
Nice.
that piece of business is out of the way, Allison, what are you drinking over there?
I snagged Bigelow tea.
Some more
Because
Bigelow.
yeah, it's brewed in Connecticut, which is the very bottom of New England, so it counts. Top.
Still counts.
Is it?
Yes, it counts. I looked it up. I had a difficult time trying to find something to match you guys, and this is what I've decided on.
Yeah, New England tea.
What kind of
that
tea is it?
Well, it's a Constant Comment, which is like their staple tea, and it's like a orange and cinnamon infused black tea.
Oh, okay, that sounds nice.
Yeah,
That's
don't-
definitely a cold winter's night sort of tea.
yeah.
Don't want to raid on your parade, but the Bigelow plantations near Charleston.
But that's not what the website says.
If you
A
say
manufacturer
you
of
can
dried
visit-
teas based in Fairfield, Connecticut. It's based in.
if you look at Bigelow Plantation, it says visit Bigelow Tea
But that
at
might
our
be
Charleston Tea Plantation.
maybe that's where they grow the tea.
Right, but that's not where.
And then they ship it up to the Connecticut place where they mix it with
to
all
Boston,
the herbs. And,
they shipped it up to
They
Boston.
ship it up to Boston.
Whoa!
I don't know. I tried.
Oh, I'm sorry,
okay.
neighbor. I didn't mean it.
No, I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
All right, so do we want to talk about what we've been playing this past week, mobile games and otherwise? Because we're going to get back to the mobile games, I think, in a minute.
Well,
I've been traveling a lot, so it's been a lot of
mobile games?
stuff on the Switch. Are we counting that as a mobile game? Probably. not.
No. I
Yes,
It's
you
a
can
console.
take it
it's a mobile.
It's a console, though.
Okay, yes, it is a mobile gaming console.
But I think the
But-
premise of the thing was for like mobile, as in your phone is a mobile phone.
Android or iPhone based game.
Yes. So yeah, I've been playing some Smirsh. Been doing that a lot. We actually were able to get. We surprised my girlfriend Katie's brother-in-law. That's what he is. For his birthday / Christmas, and got him a Smash machine so we can smash across the country.
Nice.
Nice.
So you've been playing a lot of Smash, yeah?
Smash
Do you feel like it's holding up over time?
compared to
Compared to
What?
previous Smashes, but also compared to like other games that you play?
I mean, I think it's a really good fighter game. It's a great party game. We played it a lot at MAGfest, which we'll talk about later. I don't know if everyone knows, but we're going to talk about MAGfest later.
Wait, we're going to talk about MAGfest later? What about mobile
so.
games? Are we going to talk about that later too?
Let me check the
Yeah.
agenda.
Hold on. It says
Yep,
kicking
yep.
around for
Looks
30
like-
minutes.
But yeah, I think it's holding up. I think it's a really well balanced game so far. There's no one that's like super disgusting broken. Everyone's that I've played against has always had their favorites, and it's more about people enjoying playing the person than just being the best, which is really fun.
I don't feel like I'm very good at Smash, and
I don't feel that either. So
and when we were playing as a big group at MAGfest, I still felt like I could kind of hold my own and have fun, even though I wasn't great.
yeah.
Well, we were playing with my buddy Blaze a few weeks back. Ian, do you remember that?
Dude, he was
Yes, he
Blaze
was really good.
mean.
Well, he wasn't mean. He's just better than us. So,
Dude,
And therefore mean.
100% wiped the floor with us with Ripley. It was ugly.
that was
Ripley's-
okay. Ripley's kind
believe
of
it or
dirty,
not,
though.
I believe it now.
Oh, that's good.
I've also dabbled recently in Just Cause 3.
Oh,
So Katie made a good point. Is it called Just Cause because it's a just cause? Or is it you can just blow shit up just cause? Just because you feel like it. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. What do they call that? What's the French for that?
Double entendre?
Double entendre.
Is that the one?
Entendre. Yeah, I think so. Well, specifically a double entendre is referring to something that you say that's like a normal thing, but also like a sexy times thing. But
yeah.
Okay.
Like, I want to eat your hamburger.
Is that a thing? Okay.
I don't know. I just said it. Is it a double entendre? I don't know. I kind of want to eat a hamburger now, though.
But yeah, it's a pretty fun game. It doesn't have a lot of like story depth to it, but it doesn't really need it to be fun just because the explosions are so much fun in that game.
It's about jumping on stuff, flying real high, and blowing things up.
Yeah, you're not supposed to really think about why or how or what. You're just supposed to do and have fun with it, and it's succeeding really well at that.
Attaching rockets to cows.
Yeah, and then seeing what happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Dan, what about you?
Well, aside from the mobile gaming stuff, which we'll talk about, I made a New Year's resolution to myself, and it was to finish some goddamn video games.
Wow, high five, Dan.
That is my struggle as well.
Basically, I'm starting with Red Dead 2. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get like through the story of Red Dead 2. I thought I was.
No, this is a terrible... Dan, you just made a New Year's resolution that was like, I'm going to finish games. And it's like saying, like, I'm going to go for a run. And then you were like, I'm doing a marathon first. I'm going for runs every day, but marathon first.
No, what we should do, we should keep a tally of like short, medium, and long games and see who does the most at the end. So like games like Final Fantasy VII or I guess Red Dead. I don't know exactly how long it is. Or like The Witcher 3. Yeah, if you finish them, that's a long one. If there's games like...
that's a double entendre. That's a double entendre. That's a long one.
if it's like Metro 2033, something like 10 to 12 hours, maybe 8. That's a medium. And then if it's like something like Her Story or...
Florence
or Donut County or things like that, that counts as a short one.
Okay, all right. Well, this is a long one. I thought I was close to being done, and then I was like, oh, wait, no, there's way more. Oops.
We should totally keep a tally of this for the year.
Okay. Listeners, you are in charge of keeping us honest about that. So...
If we didn't say what we're playing this week...
We'll have a little ding count. Anytime anyone says, hey, I finished this, it'll go ding on the thing, and we'll put it on there.
Allison?
I was playing a lot of mobile games actually in prep for this. Specifically Ragnarok mobile, which just came out today.
Okay, I know it. Yeah, I know what that is. Okay. The big thing I want to talk about is this game called The Captain is Dead, which is a tabletop. Yes, he is. Which is a tabletop game. It's a board game, so it's a little bit out of our wheelhouse, but really awesome board game that I picked up over winter break.
Maybe out of your wheelhouse.
And the concept of the game is that you have a ship and everybody at the table is co-op and you're all trying to save the ship. And what happened is there was an alien attack. There's an alien fleet attacking you and your captain was killed. So now you have to figure out how to charge your jump core and get the crap out of there so that everybody lives. And the game is about making sure that you're using your resources wisely and that you're generating resources in spite of everything being broken all the time. So like a lot of the times, like there's a bunch of different systems on the skip. So like the teleporter will go down or the scanners will go down. So you won't know what's outside or you won't be able to move. And then like your shields take damage and you have to work together with your friends around the table to try to figure out how to get yourself out of jams all the time. It's really cool.
That's really neat.
Cool.
Yeah. There's some really fun characters in it. So yes, one of them, what is it called? Oh, it's called the Red Shirt. I'm pretty sure it's called.
Oh, does he die real quick?
Yeah, but he keeps coming back.
Basically,
really?
all the characters in the game are invincible. You can only get injured, except for the Red Shirt, where instead of getting injured, he dies and then respawns in a new room as a new red shirt.
Just another guy. It's just I'm Ensign Jim. What's going on?
The best, and he's really good because when he dies, he actually takes the bullet for everybody else in the room, so they don't even get injured. So he dies, but everyone else lives. It's really super fun.
That's so
cool. And then
cool.
I think one of the times I played, I was the janitor. And so I basically couldn't really do much, but I could have a lot of tools. And so I was basically a mule carrying around tools to everyone. It was awesome. It was cool. And like it also gave me more action points too, for whatever reason. It was good.
That's fun. I love those co-op games. That's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty nifty. So I would say check it out. The rule book is not great. So if you pick it up and you're like, this is really weird and hard to understand, just call me and I can talk you through it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, his number is...
Let me pull up Dan's number on my phone real quick.
No, it's 555. I have a big penis.
I thought it was 555-867-5.
No, that's 867-5309.
That's right. All right,
let's not spell out. I have a big penis.
Speaking of phone numbers, let's talk about mobile games.
Mobile games.
What
are those?
Well, okay, so of course the holiday season is a season where we're all traveling. We're going here. We're going there, and in between, we gotta get our gaming in little bites, and the best way to do that is on your mobile device. So I wanted to dig into some Android and iOS mobile games from 2018 that we maybe loved and didn't have a chance to talk about, and talk about what's important about the mobile gaming industry and how it's affecting games in general. So maybe the first thing to do is just throw out a couple games that we have played recently that we found interesting, mobily interesting.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I have too many.
Yeah, why don't you talk about Ragnarok? Because you were just
you were just saying that. That's newish.
Yeah, so Ragnarok M, which stands for mobile. I know that's difficult. Eternal Love is the game's name.
Ooh, Eternal Love. I don't know. Can we talk about this game on the podcast? This sounds a little bit...
No, I left all those games out. It's okay. Ragnarok is a MMO RPG. And it was something I played a lot when I was younger. It was one of the first computer games I played online with people other than like World of Warcraft. It's very cutesy. That's its kind of difference to the ones that were out at that time. It was like adorable and anime, and you got these little cute pets and things like that. So I just dumped a bunch of time into that. And now that it's come to the mobile platform, me and a huge group of my friends are going to join and be able to mobily play an MMO, which is nice considering it's hard to get everybody together on a computer to do stuff like that. I mean, we've tried. We know what that struggle is. So it's really nice to think you can just kind of pick up your phone and do it from wherever, as long as you're not in the middle of something at work, obviously.
Yeah.
Does Ragnarok M maintain all the same features that the original Ragnarok had? And is it the same game, or that's just a re-release, or is it a different game? Okay.
It is a different game. Same like story as far as like the world is kind of the same. And the basic ideas are the same as far as like the way the class systems work. You start with like a novice class, and then you upgrade it to whatever class you want to be, like an archer, an alchemist. At level 10 you get this option. At level 20 it goes and you adapt your playstyle however you want. Like you can have a melee battle priest, which sounds kind of weird, but it's good for soloing, because if you go full support priest, you literally can't solo when you grind. It's not like in WoW where you have like smite and you can do that and also still be a full support priest and get things done. I
always imagine that in Dungeons and Dragons terms, where it's like you go into a cave filled with kobolds and it's just like, hey, do you guys want to hear about the light of Pelor? And it's just, they just murder you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you can't do that.
But in this game,
stab you dead.
if you want to, you can go a full agility battle priest. So you can go and you can whack things and get through them.
The power of Christ compels you.
The
power of Christ compels you.
Yes. The interesting thing about this game is I really thought I wouldn't like mobile controls with an MMO. I've played some other ones like Logris. I played that for a while. Unison League, I played that for a while.
Did you ever play Dragalia Lost?
No, that is not one I've played. I've heard of it though.
It's like halfway between gacha and mobile RPG, but that's
right.
Moving on.
Well, and that's what those were. They're all gacha. And I mean, yes, there's some mobile RPG, but it really was you do the gachas, you get it, or you're sunk.
We should probably explain gacha games in a second. Well, okay, so gacha games are basically games where the main gameplay mechanic is opening loot boxes, and that is predicated on grinding the bejesus out of some kind of gameplay. So usually it's like an RPG fighter thing that takes a lot of time, or not takes a lot of time, but like it takes a lot of time to get the resources to get all the gacha things.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Like there's Marvel Contest of Champions.
Right.
There's
Dragalia Lost.
Star Wars.
Summoners War.
Star Wars Galaxy at War. I think is what it was called.
Galaxy of Heroes.
Galaxy of Heroes. Yeah, we've talked about that I think on the third or fourth podcast.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what gacha games are.
Yeah, and I don't like those because I'm really unlucky. And when there's a lotto involved, I will not win. And then I get really frustrated easily. So this one, at least so far, unless there's something I'm missing, it is not like that at all. So that's been really good.
I feel like I'm just looking at some gameplay video of this online, and I feel like one of the things that it's really does wisely is that the camera is fixed. So there are some online MMOs that have a 3D presentation that have an unfixed camera, so you're like struggling to like adjust the camera as you're running around, or it's like adjusting itself. And this one, like the camera is what it is. Deal with it, and that is probably a huge relief.
That was one of the things I'm really worried about because Ragnarok was a really involved game, and I couldn't see that all fitting onto a phone screen and me being okay with it, but they really did make it awesome, and I didn't expect that. Like the map was my biggest concern. The way that they make the map drop into the corner, it doesn't affect me doing something in the middle of the screen where my camera's fixed. I can see the whole left of the screen, and I can tap on the map to go somewhere. So like if I have a quest up top, I don't have to physically walk my person by clicking and dragging up to make them go up. I can tap on the map that location and kind of AFK for a second, which is cool.
And that's interesting because I think that's one of the things with mobile games where a lot of mobile games can not work well, which is because they have UI interfaces. Did anyone else play any of the Battle Royale mobile games this past year?
No.
Like Fortnite or PUBG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played it like 1 or 2 rounds and I was like, this is cool, but I'd rather just play it somewhere else.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think I played the PUBG mobile, and that was tough. If you have an average sized smartphone like I do.
Yeah, like I
that was not a double entendre. Talk about 555. I have a big penis.
like the regular sized Pixel or like the regular sized iPhone.
Right. Yeah, or like iPhone.
It's kind of hard
6,
to. If you have a bigger one, it's probably okay.
Yeah, it's definitely easier with a bigger one. It takes a long time to get to Europe in a dinghy, is what they say. But like whenever you're using it, it's just your thumbs cover up a lot of the screen and you're trying to do stuff. I think with PUBG, it was very cluttered. Like there's a lot of stuff in PUBG generally. So like on the screen, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and that was a little frustrating.
Right.
With Fortnite, there's a little bit less as far as UI, so that was not as bad. But still, it was kind of tough to do all of the move around. It's hard to play a shooter also. Same thing with, it's hard to imagine, like, how am I going to play a third person shooter or a first person shooter with just my fingies? Like, I can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
This brings up an interesting topic to me where basically what they're doing is they're taking a game that was intended either for a controller or for mouse and keyboard and squishing it down to fit on a phone and just hoping that it works. It's not a game that's been designed from the start to be on a phone. And the differences between the designs of games that have been designed to be for phones and games that have kind of been ported to mobile is an interesting thing to think about.
Right. And that's something that I was most nervous about, I feel like, with this. And they made it so I didn't feel like I was losing anything. The menus are still there, but they're not hampering what I'm doing. They did really clever things to make all of the things that were in the computer experience still there to make this game more complicated than the other, like, gotcha MMOs I've played. So it's more interesting to me, but it's not something that's making it so I find it difficult to play the game.
One of the things I found recently is so a game that I bought. So I do this thing with Google where they ask me to do surveys and they give me free money that I can use on my phone.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice,
Yeah.
Google.
And
Hey,
so
thanks. I know
thanks,
you're listening, Google. I know you're listening.
I
So
know
thank
you're
you.
listening. So thank you for letting me do that. It's called Google Rewards. Check it out if you want free money and Google looking over your shoulder.
This podcast is not sponsored by Google.
So I've used that money to buy games on occasion. One of them was KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. And on my small phone, I didn't like it very much, but I ended up buying a small, a controller, and I'm able to hook it up like this. So it's a little thing that has a piece that pops up that I can put my phone into, and it's Bluetooth, so I can use that. And so that really helps me out, like in the playing experience.
No kidding.
So if you're into mobile
that.
games, it's really cool.
How much did that cost you, Chris?
I think it was like, I bought it like on a discount from like an Amazon discount site for like $15 or $13.
Okay.
What? Worth
That's not
it.
bad.
But yeah, it looks and feels like it's not as nice as like a regular Xbox controller.
Is that for Samsung stuff, though? Like, you couldn't use that with an iPhone.
You probably could. I mean, it's just it's a Bluetooth connection.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it does have a little Apple button there, so I assume you could hook it up
Apple
there.
Button.
Is
Is that double entendre? Is that a double entendre? I don't know what's a double entendre anymore. Isn't that song? These got those Apple button jeans.
Apple button
Bottom.
and the
controllers.
boots with the fur.
It's
with the fur.
It's not
The whole
buttoned.
club was looking
at her.
Podcast listeners, you can't tell, but throughout that entire thing, you know what I'm talking about. I was just shaking my head disapprovingly. I just wanted to narrate that for everyone. Please continue, Chris.
Not a visual medium.
But yeah, no, I found with a lot of games that have like either poor controls or just don't work well on small phones, that really helps. Though it kind of reduces the mobility of it.
Sure, because then you have to carry around your controller.
But if you're going on a long plane trip and you know you're going to do that, that's a good way to get around it.
Yeah, good call. Dan, you were going to jump in there.
I can talk about what I've been playing. I played, and I think they're very mobile games. Like, these are the games I played were this was made to be on a mobile device. I played Donut County, which
we
was
talked
I
about
played
when
that on
Chris
PC
played it.
actually. Yeah,
Oh, you did play it on PC. Oh, that's interesting. How'd you like it on PC?
it was fine. I could see why it would be a very good mobile game though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like it would be super easy on PC because on mobile it was not super easy, but like it was kind of neat.
Okay, so maybe let's set the stage for Donut County just so people remember.
Yeah, so Donut County.
People haven't been listening to the rest of our podcast.
You son
First of all, for shame, I don't know what the hell is wrong with shame.
the arrogance. But the premise of Donut County is basically that you're a raccoon and a girl who work in a donut, in quotes, shop, but donuts that they send to people are just holes that open up and drop people 999 feet beneath Donut County. So
I love this concept. It's so
just
good.
and it's very I mean, it's hilarious. Like, the game is so
hilarious.
funny. The writing is great. The art style is adorable.
You know, this was one of Frank Marsilio's friends that did this.
it was
from
one
high
of
school,
Frank's
right?
friends that
Yeah.
did it, and it's like it's just so cute. I keep playing it because it is, and it's just easy enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna spend some time, playing, open up holes and dropping stuff down. Basically, you have to move this little hole around and drop things into it, and as things go into the hole, it gets bigger, so you can put bigger things in it. And double entendres, yes.
One of the things that Chris talked about is that he really liked it and liked the gameplay, but wished that it was a little bit more complex and that there was more of it.
And longer,
he was
yeah.
playing on PC.
Mm-hmm.
You were playing on mobile. Did you feel that way or no?
No, because I haven't finished it yet. But because since I'm playing it on mobile, I don't play it. I don't like sit down and say, I'm going to play some Donut County. I'm like either like sitting in my car, waiting for food to be handed to me, or I'm like on my couch, I'm like, oh, you know what, I think I'm waiting for this video game to load. I guess I'm gonna play some Donut County, and I play a little bit of that because there are some puzzle aspects to it, and the puzzles aren't super difficult. Like you can figure them out pretty easily, but it's definitely like it's super endearing. It's fun because it doesn't make you go like, oh, this game's so hard. It's more like, hey, this game is fun. So yeah, I mean, I highly recommend it if you like want a fun experience and putting stuff in holes, then this is a good game to play.
I think we can all get on board with fun experiences putting stuff in holes.
Yeah.
No comment?
Also, I think we know what the episode title is going to be. Just saying.
Double entendre.
Putting stuff in holes, clearly.
I was okay.
Oh, God.
One of the mobile games that I really did want to talk about, and this is a crane trash of a crane.
A crane trash?
It's definitely a crane trash of a transition because it's entirely not humorous at all. Is a game called Florence that came out for Android and iOS.
It had humorous moments.
It did have humorous moments.
Like I found myself laughing at some of the things I had to do. But continue.
Yes, it had humorous moments, but overall, I'd say it was a pretty serious game. And what I would say about it is that it is one of the best narratives. No, not one of the best. It's the best narrative game that I've ever played on mobile. Period.
On mobile, yeah.
I think those are hard to find.
I think they're hard to find. There are a couple of things. The lost. What are they called? Like the lost phone games, I think, or the found phone games. You know what I'm talking about?
Like, no. Are you talking about like games where it's like, oh, it's happening on someone's phone that you found? Something like that?
Yeah. So
that sounds very on the nose, but I think that's really like how to describe it.
Yeah. So it's called A Normal Lost Phone. Mm-hmm. And it's a game about exploring the intimacy of an unknown person whose phone was found by the player. So it like basically boots a phone OS, and then you're looking at it and like digging through their phone, which is interesting. So there are some
hacknet kind of,
in that it's like emulating your computer experience in some way. Anyway, back to Florence. The narrative is incredible. The way that they display like love and relationships is like so real.
Yes.
I was playing this game late at night, like over winter break by myself in the basement of my parents' house. First Christmas in a while without a significant other, and I finished it, and I was like crushed in tears, like just it's so good, but I'm so sad.
But it was so happy, right?
It ends with hope.
Man, the ending is really like it's like real life, and it's also hopeful and like artistic. I just like go play this game.
But also like it's not the ending I wanted. But
fine, but like that's real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is it like the 500 Days of Summer ending where you're just like, no? Okay.
No.
What I really liked was the way they did conversations. And I think, Ian, you talked to me about this before, and how when you get into a fight, it's like you're trying to get the word in before they can. And like, so you're racing them to, you don't even realize you're doing it because like it's a game. So like you're trying to beat the other person. But like it's also representative of a fight, like that you have in a relationship, which I thought was very interesting.
And so the gameplay mechanic here is basically that you're sliding two little puzzle pieces together to form a text message. And the text message is not words, it's just like a couple of symbols that kind of look like words, right? So you have like one that's like a rectangle and a circle on the other side, and one that's a circle on one side and a rectangle on the other, and you slide them together, and then you have a big oval, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's kind of like this.
I mean, yeah.
And then over time, as the conversation gets more heated, like the symbols and the shapes get more angular that you're putting together. So it builds a sense of tension with the gameplay and the way that the symbolism is working within the game, not just the way that not just like the visual, but also like the thing you're doing changes to become even more strident, which I thought. And there's so many touches like that in the game where it's so clearly thought through.
So Florence is like a compilation of like different sort of small tasks,
mini games,
mini
like tasks.
game-ish.
They're not even really
things.
games; they're tasks. Yeah,
like that you would do that. Like
like it's almost like
story.
a walking simulator without walking.
or a visual novel without words.
Yeah, it's like a pop novel, like you know how like when you have to pull stuff along and
a
do shit like
pop-up
that.
book.
Yeah, it's kind of like that
It's kind
too.
of cool. But every once in a while, it makes you like answer math questions or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not even that. Like, sometimes the game is like putting stuff in a box, and it doesn't matter which stuff you put in the box. You're just putting some stuff in a box.
Okay. I'm interested to play. I was gonna play this one, but then I was like, I don't know if I want to sit down and like story it up.
God.
So
It's a pretty quick one.
Yeah.
But it was good. I was pleasantly surprised.
It was one of the few games of 2018 that I would describe as a meaningful, artistic, emotional experience.
Are you saying that
Wow.
God of War wasn't a meaningful artistic experience?
I'm saying I didn't play God of War.
But
you need to get a PS4.
That's what he needs, a PS4. But also, it's on your phone, which I think is kind of the crux, you know?
Right. Anyone can go play this game. I recommend that everyone does. It's like $3, $4.
You can afford it.
And you can get that pretty quickly in a couple months after you're doing your Google rewards, like I did.
Yes.
Again, this podcast is not sponsored by Google.
Please sponsor us.
But I mean, yes, if you want to, we're open, man.
What else did I play? Oh, I played some Alto's Odyssey along with
me
Dan.
too.
So maybe we can talk about Alto's Odyssey a little bit.
I mean, yeah, as much as you could say it's a really pretty game where you make a guy slide over hills and stuff.
Yeah, I think what they really nailed in this game was the environment, and saying that about a 2D
Nailing the
Infinite
environment.
Runner.
Double on
Saying that
time,
about a 2D Infinite Runner is kind of unique.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cool thing about it is what's going on behind you, because like time changes, the day, like it's not just like, oh, I'm in the red zone now, so I'm sliding over hills in the red zone. It's like, oh, it's somehow it's like, oh, it's like stormy. So yeah, it's stormy area now.
Like the X-Men.
Yes, there's
a little stormy.
Yeah, she's,
white hair, all that.
She's back there. She's just calling down the thunder.
I think one of the things that occurred to me while I was playing these mobile games as well was how important sound is for games, because you don't really realize that with a mobile game until you like turn the sound on or like turn it up or put headphones on. But like, man, sound is important. And Alto's Odyssey did a great job, and so did Florence with sound design.
Yeah, Florence. I was going to say like the soundtrack was really well done. I don't think I mentioned that before. I meant to.
Yeah. Donut County was, I mean, it's okay, but it's also like goofy and kind of cartoonish, which is what you want. It's like, it's calm, but it's like boom, 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 bing, boom, boom, boom,
it's goofy.
Boom. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Maybe just a quick toss out a couple of quick mobile games that you think that people should check out, other than the ones that we already talked about. So I'm gonna start. Okay. Pocket City, if you want a cool Sim City alike for your phone. Pocket City, check it out. Dissembler, if you're into puzzle games, is it's got really good clicking. It feels great to click things. And then if you're feeling politically inclined, check out this game called Gerrymander, which is about gerrymandering, which is real fun.
If you like delivering people or things to places in an organized fashion, check out Pocket Planes or Pocket Trains, depending on whether you're iOS or Android. Cool. And then also check out, if you like roller coasters and Roller Coaster Tycoon, there's Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. And it's just Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Awesome.
On your phone.
I'm gonna pitch some mixed reality games. If you are a dungeon master and you want something to consolidate all your shit for Dungeons and Dragons, Game Master 5 is great. There's a compendium of all the monsters and spells. It makes it so much easier to search through all that stuff.
Nerd.
And fuck off. And another one is called Piccolo, a drinking game that is.
Is this Dungeons and Dragons themed?
It is not Dungeons and Dragons themed. No, this is kind of interesting because it's kind of like it's on your phone. You put in the amount of players that you have, you put in their names, and then it like says things to do. We were playing it with a bunch of friends, and one of the things that happened was I couldn't look at the guy who was reading all the stuff in the eye. It said, you cannot look at him in the eye at any point. If you do, you have to drink. So that it was very difficult. And I was looking down at the table the whole time, just being like, this is super awkward and I don't know what to do. It's super fun. So Piccolo, Piccolo.
Oh, nice. We should play that on the show sometime. Allison.
Let's do it.
So there's just like some simple little games that I like to play. Bricks and Balls. I play that like before I go to bed a lot, and it's literally.
We're so close to just letting that go, guys. We're so close.
Phrasing? Are we doing phrasing?
It's not my fault. Phrasing. That's the name of the game. But it's literally just a game where you throw some balls out to bash bricks, and there's different complexities in it and levels. And then Toon Blast, which
Ryan Reynolds plays that.
I know. I played it before those commercials came out. I'm level 450. It's a problem.
Ooh.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot. I really like this game. It's stupid. It's fun. It's kind of like Bejeweled, but not. And then the two people who like K-pop who may listen to this, Zepeto. That's a good game. It's just really simple, and you can make icons and take pictures with your friends in it, and there's lots of K-pop merchandise you can put your characters in. It's a silly little thing, but it's really fun. And Pokemon Go, I've played that once or twice. That's a good game.
Wait, what's
all right? Well,
I'm sorry, Pokemon Go? I don't know.
It's an indie game. It's an indie game. You probably haven't heard of it.
It's a little
Pokemans. And because Will couldn't be here for this podcast, he did want me to say, he said to do the best impression I could of him. If it helps, I still hate mobile games.
Have you played any mobile games recently, Will?
No, because I hate them.
I haven't had time.
Thanks for your thoughts, Will.
You're welcome. I'm going to go eat some ice cream.
Drink some sweet tea.
Some sweet tea.
We're the worst friends ever.
No, we're the best friends ever.
All right. Well, that is going to be it for us for the first half of the show. Stick with us. We're going to come back and talk about MAGfest. Be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Dan here. Hope everyone's new year is going well. Happy New Year. First thing, we just want to say thanks so much for continuing to listen. You guys are the best. Our listeners, you guys keep us going. So keep on listening and we'll keep making stuff. It's really awesome to have you with us here for us. And if you'd like to support us, there's a few ways you can do that. One is you can sign up for Humble Bundle using the link bit.ly/GameBrew. That's bit.ly/GameBrew. And that'll help, throw a little money our way. Also throw some money to some awesome charities. And you get some sweet ass games every once in a while. So it's pretty cool. If you want to send us some topics or ideas for topics, we love to hear that. Because we, as I've said before, are not super creative. So we need some help with that kind of stuff. And if we have things that we say that are wrong, tell us. If we have things that we say are right, tell us that too. Send us messages on Facebook, on Instagram. You can do messages, I guess. On Twitter, you can send that to us. That's all at the GameBrew. And please, if you like the show, leave us a review on iTunes or anywhere that you're getting your podcasts from. And leave a comment. Tell your friends, tell your parents, your parents' friends, tell them to listen to the show. Your kids, well, don't tell your kids, but definitely tell other people to listen to it. It's the best way to support us, and it'll really increase your friends, maybe. Who knows? All right, so I won't talk you off any longer. Let's get back to the action with the GameBrew crew. I'll see you in a few.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of the GameBrew podcast, episode 47. In just a second, we're going to talk about our experiences at MAGfest. But first, we need to check in with the brews that we're consuming this week. I'm thoroughly enjoying this guava IPA from Hapa's, but I feel a little bad about it, I guess.
No, you shouldn't. Why would you feel bad about it?
My parents are always asking me if I want to move home, and I would say yes, but they don't have guava IPAs in the East Coast.
No, but we have actual
you literally
beers that we need.
That's what you say to them?
I said, Ma, I would love to move back, but I can't.
Okay,
Ma, I'd love to fucking move back, but I can't because there's no guava IPAs.
It's fine that you're telling your family that, but you're telling us that you won't move back for us because of that.
And that's the only reason? The only...
Ouch.
He's just drinking and not looking at us. I can't believe him. These are surprisingly refreshing. I think
they're very refreshing.
And it's also dangerous because this is 8.2% alcohol by volume. So I've had 2 of these big boys that I'm drinking, and they are making me very positive.
See, this is good. I like that.
I'm a very positive boy right now. I'm
really surprised how much fun to drink this unfiltered IPA. Usually I'm drinking an unfiltered IPA and I'm like, this is aggressive. This feels, there's really some intentionality that went into this beer. And right now I'm like,
or it tastes like grass, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how that happens? Sometimes you drink a beer and it tastes like the ground.
And sometimes you just want to eat grass, right?
I mean, I can't say anything. I ate dirt as a child, so.
Did you really?
Yeah, I love dirt.
Only as a child? Did you stop eating dirt at some point?
Dirt cake is delicious.
Yes, I stopped eating dirt because people thought that was weird. However, every Bertie Bott's every flavor bean dirt flavor, my favorite jelly bean.
Do you know what pica is? Pica?
Yeah, I do. Pica? I don't have that. I don't.
Chew?
No. I just liked the way potting soil tasted, which is awful because it has extra chemicals. But yeah,
that is hilarious.
Fun fact: we thought Samson, my cat who used to live, or my brother and sister-in-law's cat who used to live with us. You may have heard him on a previous podcast. We for a while thought he might have pica because he just incessantly licked the carpet just for a long time.
I've been known to incessantly lick some carpet for a long time.
# double entendres. I like that Chris is just like, I'm done with their shit. I'm over this right now.
I'm looking for the Castlevania soundtracks to totally not torrent.
How's your beer treating you, Chris?
It's juicy and hazy. It's good. I've been enjoying it. It's very easy to drink. Yeah, I would get it again.
Yeah, nice. That's good.
That's the best recommendation I can get.
All right, that's cool. Hey, so you guys said you went to a MAGfest thing? A fest of mags is what you went to?
We did. I got this super schnazzy Aperture Science hat from the Fest of Mags.
Cool. It looks so nice. So, hey, why don't we in the second half talk about a little bit what the fuck that thing is that you went to?
Okay. I think, Chris, maybe you're the veteran, or Allison, you're the veteran of
No,
MAGfest?
this is my first time.
Oh, okay. Well, then, Chris.
Yes, I am the veteran.
Tell us, set the stage for MAGfest.
What
I have completed my
MAGfest?
4th MAGfest this earlier January Eve night.
Oh, he dinged. He dinged.
I did. So this is my 4th one. So it's a 24-hour, well, it's more than 24 hours, but it operates 24/7, as it were. So it goes from, it basically starts Thursday at noon and doesn't end until a little after noon on Sunday. And it's going the entire time. So literally there's people playing music, there's people playing games, there's an arcade that's always open. People are always up. Someone's always up at some point during MAGfest when it starts and it ends. And it's at the Gaylord Hotel in the National Harbor. MAGfest stands for Music and Gaming. That's why there's always music and always games. But it's basically a celebration of video games and the video game culture. And also kind of a little bit of, I guess, of anime culture as well. But it's really just a way for people to kind of just get together and enjoy being with each other and play video games together and listen to music together and talk about music and talk about video games. And
yeah, it
Allison.
Definitely. Yeah.
This is the first time I've gone to this, but I have gone to a lot of cons. And that was something that you hit on that I noticed about this one versus other ones that I've been to, because it really felt like a community versus some of the cons I've gone to, people can be really stuck up and really not as inclusive, I guess. Okay. And this one, I didn't bump into a single person who he was like super rude to me. I mean, I might have gotten lucky, obviously, but but I've definitely had that at all the other cons I've been to, where people have just been kind of like generally shitty for one reason or another. And everybody was just really friendly and everybody was having a good time. And I don't know. It was like I'd bump, like somebody would be standing there and they'd turn around and start having a conversation with me kind of vibe, which
nice.
I don't usually get at cons. People kind of have their own little groups they stick with. And I've never really had people just turn around and start babbling at me about something. It was really nice. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and that's, I think, a kind of influence, I think, of the music scene that's there, because that's an experience I have with going to like jam band music festivals, is that everyone is just there to have a good time and everyone's looking out for each other. If someone's struggling, they'll help you out. I think that's where that might have come from, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, I do remember it distinctly very much feeling like a 24-hour video game block party. And like,
that's a good way to say it.
That was the vibe. It's like,
I remember it very distinctly. It was definitely 24/7.
Well, but what I'm trying to say is that when you say a con, I think like, okay, there are like panels to go to and like people who are talking and you want to go.
There totally are.
And there are, but it's much more about the social interaction between the people who are there and doing things while you're there than it is about sitting and listening to people talk.
That's very cool.
Because Ian the first day before was like, he got out his pen and brought out this list of things to do and was like, ooh, this sounds cool and interesting. Ooh, this sounds cool. Do we want to do this? And I was like, I was looking at him while I was doing that and I was like, so you realize you're not going to get to like any of that, right?
Yeah, but like Otakon, for instance, that one was the other big one I've gone to, and that one's heavy anime. And it was all about the panels. Like, it was panels, and then you go to the vendor rooms, and yeah, they have a gaming section, but it was so minor, and there were always so many people there that there was just lines. It was a line con, and I wasn't interested in just standing there and waiting in lines. So I didn't expect what I got here, which is I could go to the arcade and legit just swim around and play games forever, and it was a blast. That was really fun.
That's very neat. How big was the arcade? Like, how big of a room was that?
So there's basically 4 large halls that are connected to each other. The arcade is 1/4 of it. The console free play is 1/4 of it. The indie area is 1/4 of it, and then the merch area is 1/4 of it.
When Chris is saying 1/4 of it, he's talking about basically a full hotel ballroom,
like a football. It's a football field.
A full hotel ballroom is.
Let's call it like one football field is each 1/4 of it.
Wow, that's really cool. I would love to see an arcade. That's what do you mean by also indie room? What does that mean?
So there's
oh my god, it was great. It was great.
It's just like they have like small indie studios that have made little games or like kind of moderately sized games. Me and Ian spent a little bit of time in there. Some of our favorite games, I think, were in there. We played one where it was basically the controller was made out of a fish, like a rubber fish.
Sashimi slammers.
Shut up.
Sashimi slammers. Yes. And so like basically the goal of it was to push the opposing fish into the hot oil. And so there was only 2 buttons on this fish that you kind of had to slam.
With your fists. Yeah, you just pounded this fish. It felt weird. It was
ridiculous, and it felt weird, but it was a lot of fun.
Hashtag double entendres?
Are you going to talk about Scoot Pooch?
Scoot Pooch, was another really fun one. Basically, it was a PvP game, and one person is on one side of the screen, you're on the other side of the screen, and each of you is a dog that's wiping its shit on the floor with its ass, and your job is to cause as much chaos in rooms as possible, and just like a little roller ball is your control scheme.
Oh my god.
And then there's a foot pedal that makes you jump, and so you're like jumping on furniture, leaving poo stains everywhere.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
That's Scoot Pooch, and Soundfall was really cool
Soundfall,
too.
yeah.
Soundfall
I'm going
was
to be
kind of
buying
like
Soundfall.
Soundfall was kind of like Gauntlet, but combined with a rhythm game.
Like Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yeah, kind of like Crypt of the Necrodancer. But
which apparently is our favorite game on the GameBrew. I feel like I hear that every 3 episodes.
But yeah, so you've got in the demo they only had one character available, and she had like a pistol and also a sword. So you would like shoot, sword, dodge. Sword. Yeah. So it was cool. I liked it. It was really fun, and I feel like rhythm games live and die by the soundtrack, and that soundtrack was really fun.
Yeah, and it was definitely a game that would be really great in a group setting, but I don't know how it'll do online. I think you really have to just be together, feeling the beats.
So there were 2 games in that room, in the indie room, that I liked. So Blood was one of them, BLUD.
Blood.
It literally looked like a Cartoon Network show ready to go. Like the quality of it was really solid. It was like very what was the one with Mandy? And the Grim Reaper. What's the name of that show?
Billy and Mandy.
Billy and Mandy. Yes.
Yeah.
It looked like that, kind of that vibe, and it was really animated. The attacks looked really good, and it was gorgeous. So there was that one, and then did you guys play Tipsy Raccoon?
No. What is that?
Sounds great though.
Tipsy Raccoons was an indie arcade unit. And it's meant to be a drinking game, like in a bar. Because it had like cup holders for your drinks too. 4 people could play.
Awesome.
And
we need to open up arcade, guys.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
It was
Let's buy a bar.
Cool. It was so
We'll
cool.
name it Puzzles.
Puzzles.
Why is it called that? That's why.
It's a puzzle.
It was really simple and like just a bunch of little mini games strung together. And all 4 of you are either co-oping with 2 or battling everyone, like battle royale-ish.
Right.
And there were just like really cute ones where you try to like, one of you knocks apples out of a tree and the other one catches it in the basket, and it's 2v2. You'd be, trying to not hit a wave that's coming at you. Like they were all just like really random little games, but that one was ridiculously fun, very simple to grab and go. And I would play the shit out of that at a bar.
It sounds like Mario Party, but with drinking.
Yeah. It was just like a very
You're speaking my language with that.
Easy
That
version of
sounds
Mario
great.
Party. It was really fun. I liked that one too.
Nice. That's really cool. That sounds like a really cool place to hang out.
Yeah, and there was all kinds of stuff in there. I mean, I played a game while I was there that had the controller was 4 mechanical juicers.
Ooh.
Oh, I didn't play that one. You told me
Arranged
about
in a
it.
D-pad, and they gave you 2 halves of an orange for both of your hands.
Really?
I walked up to him, and he was taking like these plastic like gloves, like surgical gloves off, and I was like, "What are you doing? Where did you get those?"
Wow, that's so awesome. How did I miss that?
So
so funny.
That's how you controlled your character. And the game was about making potions, which is fun because in real life you're actually making juice, so you can drink the potions you made. Right?
That's interesting.
And they were like, so I asked them, I was like, what do you do with the juice that you make? And they were like, oh, we usually drink it. I was like, so you're using other people to make juice for you? And they were like, no, we try to make other people drink the juice, but usually they think it's kind of gross and weird, so they don't. I was like, I'll drink your juice.
I will drink your juice. Hashtag double entendres. That's really cool. I think, Chris, go ahead.
I was going to segue into something else, so you...
No. I mean, if you want to segue into something else, that's great. But I do want to say, like, we're going to try and see if we can figure out the publishers for these games. We'll put them in some like blog post or something like that. See what we can find here for you for that kind of stuff. If you want to check out those games yourself or those publishers who are making those things too.
Absolutely.
I think I have business cards. Moving on.
Chris, what's your segue?
Well, one of my favorite things about going to this con is that we are able to stay in the hotel where we are also going to it. So like we can just walk downstairs and then go into the con floor.
So everything's inside. This is all inside.
Everything is
right?
inside. I basically did not exit the premises for like 4 days. Why did you? That's awesome.
I'm just saying. I was just like saying. It was like maybe
I didn't have to leave a building. I was just like in that building.
Your underwear and stuff like that.
I mean,
really
I'm not a fucking savage, dude.
I don't know.
I smelled okay.
To get Katie in here and tell me that she smelled okay.
Whatever, you wore my clothes.
That is a true story.
One of my favorite things is, well, we got a big room first of all, so we were able to have an executive suite, so we had a kitchen table essentially, so we were able to play card games within the room, which is one of my favorite things. And so we also got there early, and that's where we were playing The Captain is Dead. We were able to play some Boss Monster. We were able to play this game called The Mind.
Oh my
Jesus
God,
Christ.
The Mind.
So The Mind is basically you're playing with a bunch of other people, and you have to put cards in order from 1 to 100, but you can't say anything.
And so you deal the hand, right? And like say you get 5 cards in your hand, you have like 17, 52, 59, 75, and 84, and you have to put them in order with everybody else also laying cards down without talking about it.
And so basically, like, a lot of the time you're just guessing. Like, so like if you have like a 10.
Oh, so it's not like, okay, I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
so like if you have a 10, you're like, oh, I could be the first card, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to be like kind of tentative and like...
Tentative?
Oh, God.
Tentative.
There's so many puns on this episode. I'm gonna kill myself when I'm editing it. Just let me letting you know.
Puns.
So you gotta be slow when you do it.
Got it.
And
okay.
cautious. You gotta be cautious.
Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting. At first I thought it was like, yeah, you just go like someone puts down a 1, and you're like, oh, I can put down a 2, I guess. It's like, no, you put down a 7. No, you put down a 3. Yeah.
You don't have all the cards. You have just some of them. So it's like a lot of guessing and kind of a little bit of numbers game. And it was. We played it when we were really messed up on the first night. So like,
and it was awesome.
It was great.
I also want to call out real quick that there is a lot to do at MAGfest, and that's one of the things I really appreciated about it. There was a VR room where you could go and play VR games. And there was a laser tag room where you could go and play laser tag, which was super fun. There were all kinds of tournaments going on in the arcade. So because I'm the nerdiest of nerds, I played in an ice cold beer tournament, which I've talked about on the show before? ? Have I talked about it on the show before?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have talked about that.
And we posted a picture of you playing.
Right. So I played in an ice cold beer tournament. A friend of mine played in a claw game tournament. That's just like literally like claw prize games.
Nice.
There was a tournament for that.
There were LAN tournaments like League of Legends, Overwatch.
One of my favorite things is walking around LAN and just looking at everything that people are doing with building computers.
Yeah, we spent a long time talking about computer cases, like an hour. Chris and I spent an hour.
We spent a lot of time talking to other people about it too, which was cool.
That's really neat.
We got a shout out on Twitter. It was Reginald Simmons.
Reginald Simmons.
We talked to him for a while. He had a very small case that he was kind of like a custom build. We talked to him for a pretty long time.
And he was the guy who was talking about protein folding, right?
Might have been him, yeah.
Protein folding?
Yeah, so there's a thing called Folding in Home where you can basically donate your computer power to figuring out proteins
to cure
cancer or like curing other diseases.
Oh my God.
And you can make a team to like be a competitive folding team.
You're blowing my mind right now. I'm like,
this is
so many things. Like the endorphins are going crazy.
It's really cool. I actually downloaded it once I got my new 1700X. I downloaded it because I was like, that's what this is for now.
That was something that like just among many other things that I was like, there's so much cool culture within the culture that we call the gaming culture. And a lot of times we focus on the most toxic or unattractive parts of it, but like folding at home, fucking curing cancer with badass GPUs, or Take This is a
Take This was awesome.
Was a nonprofit, like just people who were there to make sure that like
mental health awareness,
care of themselves. So they would hand you
sponsored, They sponsored the AFK room, which is basically like if you need to go away and just get away from something for a little bit.
Right.
That's freaking
you go to the AFK
glorious.
room.
That's a great
and they also gave out quests, and the quests were like eat a recognizable vegetable today, or like make sure you get at least 6 hours of sleep, like drink 5 cups of water. It was
God, that's like, so cool.
Just making sure that while people are having a good time at the con, that they're also taking care of themselves. And so I bought a pin from them. They were really cool.
I was awesome. The Take This, yeah.
Take this.
Get like let's get some pictures of those pins because that would be really cool to put on the
I'll send you a pic.
Instagram. So definitely take some looks at that.
One of the other highlights for me is always they have a gaming museum. So they have a lot of like old rigs and old consoles where you can play some stuff that's like really classic stuff. Like I was playing the first Diablo on like a high class rig. Ian played some
Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
And killed me.
And everyone died. Yeah.
Listen,
died.
Allison, this is weird to me. First of all, Dan, you died first. No, Chris died first. I'm sorry.
I died first.
No, Chris died first. The first river was 3.5 feet deep. Chris drowned.
He just like got on his knees. He was just like, I'm going, guys. I'm sorry.
Shortly thereafter, Allison breaks her leg and then wanders off.
It's like,
that's
I'm
fucking
just gonna
metal.
take a walk.
That's metal as shit. She comes back.
But during her trip out, she had been bitten by a snake. So
Jesus Christ!
I couldn't outrun the snake on my broken leg. Okay.
Also, just one of the other things that I really liked was that, like, just like in an old school arcade, you could actually sit there and fight for high scores with people. So I set the high score on the table version of the Asteroids cabinet.
I'm still so proud.
And I held it for the entire MAGfest.
Oh my God.
He actually
awesome.
had 3 high scores, but what I loved about that cabinet was just how pretty the missiles looked. Like it's
so good.
It's something that can't really, I mean, I'm sure it could be like digitally done, but like it looks so impressive, and just like the way the trail of it looked so pretty.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was cool.
I also helped set a Guinness Book of World Record theoretically. It's not official yet. But yeah, I live streamed that on our Facebook for a minute. The room we were in with all the wizards, but it was most wizards gathered in one location. So it was almost 500, I think.
Nice.
So yeah, very cool. That was a lot of fun. That was weird, but a lot of fun.
Nice. I don't think I shared this with you, but my father, GameBrew dad Brian Rotz, went to the Smithsonian recently, and they had they had an exhibit that had some gaming stuff in it, and one of the things he sent me a picture of was the brown box, which was the first a prototype of the first multiplayer multi-program video game system developed in 1967 and 1969 by Ralph Baer and Bill Harrison and Bill Rush, which is kind of interesting. So I wasn't there at MAGfest, but this is a museum-y type thing that I will send out eventually also.
That's very cool.
Great.
You're welcome for that information.
I wonder if it might be cool just to hear from the MAGfest folks before we wrap up, like, top thing, and then also like maybe the thing that you wish could be improved, or the thing that was the toughest about MAGfest.
Yes, what Ian said, I would like to hear those things. He winked at me because it's not a visual medium, and then he made a kissy face. He's still making kiss. Okay, now it's licking faces. Single entendres. Single entendres.
I had a couple things. I really enjoyed my time with the VR in the VR room. I actually was on the top 10 for that.
You hit top 10 on Space Pirates.
Yeah, for Space Pirates. Man, I really want to get one. I really enjoyed that, and just like everyone getting to really do it for the first time, I feel like it was really cool, because I don't think Katie's really done it. I don't think you've done it. I don't think Bob has either. But I think everyone came out of it with a really positive experience, which I really liked. I also really enjoyed checking out Killer Queen. And so like that was something that Queen.
Yeah, that goes.
Killer Queen is a game. It's kind of an interesting PvP game where there's 3 ways to win. You can do an economic victory, a PvP victory, or a snail victory. And so an economic victory is you get the most berries. PvP is you kill the other queen 3 times. And a snail victory is that there's like a snail that's in the middle of the map that you carry over to your side, basically. So there's 3 ways to win, and it's like I think it's a 5-on-5 battle, basically. and it's really becoming a big thing in Baltimore. And I wasn't very excited to go play it all the time because it seemed like there was a very kind of elitist group around it. But when I played it the first time, everyone was very supportive, and I really, really enjoyed that.
The best thing about MAGfest for me was just being able to be in an environment where everybody there was a gamer, and for the first time experiencing a place where I didn't feel like I had to hide my gamerness, which I otherwise always do. So that was really cool and revelatory in a way that I don't think I was prepared for. Like it was kind of emotional in a weird way.
Also, you get 10 points for using the word revelatory in regular conversation.
10 points.
No, and I get that completely because that's why I like cons. That's
right.
That's why I'm obsessed with going to them. It's so different.
Yeah. And I think the biggest down for me, the biggest thing that I would change is, God, I don't know that I would change anything. The food was too expensive. I wish I could buy cheaper food.
That's why you bring
Sons of
food.
bitches.
I did not buy any food. I did not buy any food that entire weekend.
I know. At some point, I just needed to eat a vegetable, though. I'm really
we had
sorry.
veggies.
I had veggies in my fridge.
We had veggies.
Nobody ate them.
Yeah, but he didn't want your fucking veggies. He wanted his own goddamn
We had a shitload of veggies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
And when you bought it, you ate
shitty
pizza.
veggies. He wanted his own Ian.
Pizza is not veggie.
There are vegetables on pizza sometime.
There's tomato sauce.
Basil counts as a vegetable.
According to the U.S. government, pizzas are a vegetable. So
it's true.
So suck it.
I did a little blog post about MAGfest that we're going to drop somewhere at some point.
Yeah.
So just look out for that as well.
My favorite thing was the arcade room and kind of the LAN room. I don't know if I can give two, but that's kind of where I lived. I don't know. I had never experienced anything like that. All the other cons I've been to, they've been really kind of small and lame. And that arcade room had like 200 plus arcade games.
Yeah, the arcade room's fucking awesome.
I haven't been so excited about an arcade in so long because they're all very lame around here. Like I've tried to go to arcades around here and they're awful. They don't keep score right.
No,
they're broken.
It kind of ruins me. Like I've been to a barcade in Colorado and I've been to a barcade in Philly and they're cool, but like at the same time, I get to do once a year. I get to get my fill of arcade.
Yeah,
and I don't have to pay quarters. Like we got to finish X-Men as a group on a 6.
I was about to ask
awesome.
that. Like, did you finish X-Men? Because you told me you were going to.
We get to start to finish. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a lot shorter than I remember. I'm usually
hold on.
super trashed when we do it, so it feels a lot longer.
Allison, who was your character?
Oh, I didn't play
X-Men?
that.
Oh, you didn't play X-Men? Oh,
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Chris, who was your character in X-Men?
I switched out, but when I played, I was Colossus.
Colossus.
Because he's
okay.
really the only person I want to play.
All right. Ian, who is your character?
Cyclops, obviously.
Obviously. He's the best X-Men, so.
I usually pick Rogue or Storm, though.
Okay. So I liked Storm, but Cyclops is the way to go. He's a badass.
Scott Summers.
Not in that game. It's all about Colossus. The Colossus roar. So at MAGfest, it's kind of like a meme, like people just like will start doing the Colossus roar everywhere, and so they've set up signs. Yeah, they set up signs that like it'll be like a picture of Colossus with like the caution sign and like the sign with the X in it, and like instead of this, try this, and it's a Nightcrawler at the bottom.
Yeah, that definitely, like, that arcade was it for me. I wanted to live there, and I kind of did a lot of the con.
I did.
The only thing I feel like I was disappointed by was me. I was so ill prepared because I left like a bag of cosplay and I didn't bring it, and I was sick, so I couldn't like do everything I wanted to do. So that was really the only thing that was negative for me. Everything else was positive. I even found like a semi-cheap place to get some food, like sandwiches and soup when I needed some soup. So yeah.
I think the only thing I want to do different next year, now that we have a bigger group, is bring computers to LAN.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that next year. That'll be very cool.
That's definitely Chris's big thing, is he wants us to LAN together.
I do.
Because you know what they say? Friends that LAN together
usually get mad at each other and yell by the end of it.
That one. What Allison said more than what Chris said. Oh, well, that sounds like it was a really cool experience for you guys. But, I think I've learned all I want to for right now about that experience. So
you'll just have to come next year.
You'll just have to come yourself. So come to MAGfest. I guess, do you know when tickets are available for it usually?
They're usually available around August or September. They'll open up hotels in October, I think.
Okay. All right.
I think they've been I've heard rumors that it's going to be starting on the 2nd of January next year, which is going to be difficult, I think, but we'll see once they officially announce. So it's either going to be starting on the 2nd through the 5th next year, or probably the 9th or the 12th, one of those two.
So everybody start your plans now to come and see us and say hi.
Hang out with the GameBrew crew. I plan on being there. I planned on being there this year, but a bunch of life stuff got in the way.
Damn it, life stuff.
It was really annoying, but next year I really plan on being there. So if you are there as well, hit us up. We'll be running around, probably shipping out some GameBrew merch, because why
We're
not?
going to be mega famous.
Mega family.
We did hand out a bunch of business cards and stickers.
Yeah.
Specifically, you probably got it from Ian.
Because he's awesome. A social butterfly.
And I'm scared of people.
But we are looking to, and if you do want GameBrew merch, you should really let us know on the Facebook, on our send us an email, do all that kind of stuff, because we're itching to have that kind of stuff out.
We're flush in the merch.
Yes,
we want to know what you'd want,
but in the merch we are. But I think that's it for today. Ian, do you want to take us out for this episode because you're the host?
Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, that's it for tonight, everybody. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
All right, we'll see you back for episode 48. Bye.
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 What?
Foursquare.
With the cube on top?
Jubeat, yes.
Jubeat.
Actually not pronounced Jubeat.
Oh.
How's it
That's
pronounced?
probably for the best.
Yes.
It's pronounced U-beat.
Oh. That makes so much more sense. That makes so much more sense.
Here's a question. If you're having a U-beat competition, what do you call that for shorthand? Like if you're having a dancing competition, you would call it a dance-off.
We call it a U-beat off. Yeah. Double entendres. Actually, that's kind of a single entendre. That's just one entendre.
It's right
There's
there.
only one.